After Uncharted 4 hit the shelves, the question has been, what is the best Uncharted game? All games have their strengths and weaknesses, but which one crowns the top spot? This will be a 3-part series, an episode each dedicated to the story, design, and finally the set pieces. Uncharted games are very special. Its compelling, heartwarming story and witty writing unmatched within the industry. The set piece is not even today's standards of games come close to those of Uncharted 2 and 3 a good 5 to 7 years ago now. With the blockbuster experience rivaling movies and Uncharted 4 really showing what a game can actually achieve. The Uncharted series is like no other, and I do believe in these qualities it will remain a series never forgotten. If you enjoy the video and this series coming up, it would be very much appreciated if you share and subscribe if you enjoy my content, and without further delay, let's get into what is Naughty Dog's best Uncharted game. Let's start with the story. Uncharted games have two threads of story, one being the character's journey and development, and the other being the historical discovery and the player's excitement to find all these exotic locations. Now I'll start with the character story, and for me the first three do fit the very light-hearted tone. Naughty Dog said themselves it's almost a parallel universe, where death doesn't have the same weight and impact it does for us. The characters all stay the same, and mostly each game has a sort of reflex. One, if not the only big complaint I would have on Uncharted 2 is that it feels like it started 2 hours into the story. With no backstory how Elena and Drake, the two lovebirds holding each other's hands from the first game, suddenly have broken apart for no apparent reason. And in the introduction of a new character called Chloe, which also has a back history with Nate, which I'm guessing happened between the first and the second game, but again no context is ever given for this. The same was done for the third, and you end up with her again against all odds. Now Drake's deception adds a bit of personal weight to the story and shines a light on Drake's obsession. It really is the first time you realise that is it really worth it, and Elena tries to put sense into both him and Sully.
What is wrong with you two?
Elena, come on, we're just joking around.
Listen, you've won, okay? You've outsmarted her. You know where to find the city, and Marlowe doesn't. Why can't that be enough?
It almost felt like Uncharted 4 was what Uncharted 3 always meant to be, and the time given, and a 6-hour story you couldn't add enough depth to really make an impact. I did like the story in Uncharted 3, it was trying to tell even if sometimes it wasn't executed correctly. Mostly being Sully's cheap death and the whole supernatural element. The first two, like many have said, have the same pattern story-wise, even though I love Uncharted 1's simple story with Elena and Drake. It really does attach me to those characters, and I still rate that game when many seem outdated for today's standards.
You should realize by now that I plan for every contingency. Now drop your weapons. Down there.
But Uncharted 4 is of course when after The Last of Us, Naughty Dog really put the weight into the Uncharted universe, showing what normal life Nate and Elena live and how much they mean to each other. I could gush about the story, but that's for another video. The simple fact is, Uncharted 4 was the payoff for all the previous three, showing what life is like and the risks and consequences of Nate going back into the high adventure life. And with the PS4 technology, seeing the animations and detail really pull you into the emotional ride for the first time, not wanting to chase down the treasure, but more to save the life you left of the people good old Nathan Drake loves.
No, I wanted to, but how could I?
I don't know, just say it.
I had to protect you.
That is bullshit, Nate. You just didn't have the nerve to face me again.
I knew you would react like this.
How would you react? You lied to me for weeks.
Now when we move on to the history side of the story, Uncharted 4 is just so much more compelling. Having no supernatural element was very refreshing again, keeping to the theme of a more grounded Uncharted experience, especially after Uncharted 3, which left a bad taste in my mouth. The idea of bit by bit over a good 15+ hour games discovering this pirate treasure, from the simple idea of a private treasure to uncovering some of the most notorious pirates working as the founders of Libertalia. Then uncovering the truth how the plan all along was to steal the colonist treasure, This broke into a civil war, and then one by one the founders turned on each other until Henry Avery and Thomas II, his right-hand man, took it for themselves and then even killed each other for this treasure. Seeing Avery's real purpose and how evil he truly acted was great following each thread of the story. It really showed how much Naughty Dog has learned over the years, and tying it back into Henry's deception to Sam, Nate and Rafe and what they would do. It was a great perspective to get Nate not being the sixth one with the treasure, but it was Sam.
Trust me, they've seen this kind of obsession before. Sam, we're not those kids anymore. We're not. And we got nothing to prove.
Now the 3 other games have a lot shorter and have to cram a lot more in. A joke I always make is how Uncharted 2 and 3 couldn't find a more effective way to tell the story, but just to sit you around a table near the start of the game to get the whole plot and purpose out before you search for this lost city. In the Uncharted 3 case, only be there for 10 minutes before you destroy the damn place. Uncharted 2 was better, probably because having a few more hours to play with the build up and spending a good hour in Shambhala. With also the fact it now revealing Shambhala being the main goal until 3/4 of the way into the game really refreshed the pace, this is where Uncharted 3 lacked. Now for Uncharted 1, I honestly liked the story. Simple stories sometimes are the better ones. It has a nice supernatural twist, which at the time was unique, and learning about El Dorado and how the Spanish and the Germans found this cursed treasure only to be turned into, well, whatever you call these things. Overall, I would say Uncharted's historical side has always been over the top and its word, with the first and improved the second, but the third felt like it lost its way. All using the same story techniques and even very enjoyable, does not come close to what Uncharted's Ford's refreshing pirate treasure hunt has. And Naughty Dog have learned over the years of experience how to really tell a story, and Uncharted 4 shows this. Being able to merge the history and the characters and makers together makes the flow so much more better, especially for how much the length of Uncharted 4 is. The previous 3 I do prefer Uncharted 2 with its length, progression, with a nice story change, and a general add-on of Chloe and good humour just hits the levels Uncharted 3 never did. But in the end, Uncharted 4 is kin in my eyes when it comes to the story.
Seems like I am always saving your ass.
Well, it is an ass worth saving.
Thank you very much for watching. This is the first part of 3 series with one each weekend. If you enjoy my content, sharing it around is very much appreciated. You can watch my Uncharted 4 fanmade trailer here also, and also my opinions on the Infinity Warfare beta itself. Anyway guys, I'll see you next time.